Hi and welcome to this tutorial for Vicetone with Stars. I've tried to make a remake of this track because I really like it personally, and then I tried to find out how did they do it in a way. And yeah, so Vicetone is a really cool duo, and yeah, I really wanted to remake the song. So let's start on this. I only made the intro and the verse and the chorus, and the rest is about the same, and you get the idea from this. So this should be enough to give you a general idea of how the song is built. So I can run it. I will run small parts and then explain what I did. So here we go. Okay, so what I did here, this is a simple bass, a sine bass. And it's sidechained, maybe a bit too loud because you can hear it in the start, but I was too lazy to remove this. And then it starts to play the moving part. So, well, and then there's a layer of two guitars and they play both the same. And I made these using Nexus. So I used a Nexus preset. They're a guitar ballad. Well, let me look. It's the guitar ballad one or something else. I don't know. You can look it up for yourself. And the trance guitars preset. And I usually remove the reverb and the delay of these presets because it's usually just drenched in delay and reverb, and I don't like that sound. I like to use my own things to get a reverb, if I even want it. In this case, it's just dry. So with the bass. Then we have a little sound here. So what I did, I listened very carefully to the track, and if you reverse the part when this sweep occurs, then you hear actually it is just a snare with some reverb on it. So what you need to do is you take a snare and then you add reverb to it, and then you reverse the whole thing. So you bounce it or you record it in Ableton, and then you reverse the recorded thing. So you have some preverb on it. So that's what I do in a lot of places in this track. What I think also Vicetone has done in this track. And then of course you don't want to end it too soon, so it's drenched in reverb. You can see the decay time is really high. So then you hear the little bleeps coming in, like bleep beep 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 beep. I chose a silent synthesizer for this. And I filter it. Well, it's just a very standard sound, and you can find it probably in your preset bass. Then I added a couple of effects to this. So of course the sidechain compression, which is also found on the bass and on the guitars, and this is driven by a ghost kick, so a very small piece of a kick sound. It's really just no. See, my zooming is messing up because I'm recording this video. It's really a very small part of a kick. So you just have an impulse. So it's sidechained. Then the low is cut off. Then it is low pass filtered because we want to open up the sound as we go. Reverb is added. I have a high pass filter for when we go to the chorus. And I want to modify the volume using this utility. So this is all automated in here. Then, yeah, here's some more preverb sound. So this is made in exactly the same way as the other preverb. I just took a snare, added reverb, then bounced the whole thing and reversed it. And then of course you have to edit the volume a little bit, but that's basically the thing you do. And then of course the real snare over there. And then we go to the interesting part about this track. I think the lead, and it is really hard to recreate. I try my best. I don't know if I succeeded. Let me know. But yeah, so I start with the leads. I took like 6 layers to create this lead. And for the intro part, I only use 2 and I filter them. So I use a low pass filter. In the meanwhile, I also start some claps and open up the volume gradually. And these claps are also layered. And I think that's it. So I can let you hear what it sounds like. Maybe a little bit earlier. Okay, and then we go with the snares. So some snares were added here, and of course we have again the preverbed sound, and then follows a sweep going up. It's just a stock sweep from Vengeance, impact sound, and then we go into the actual chorus. And what's interesting to notice here is that I chose to lower the threshold of the lead sound. So at first it doesn't sound that compressed and sidechain compressed. I mean then, and as you go, it becomes more and more sidechain compressed. You probably didn't hear it, but see. So now we have a little gain reduction, and we come further, and then here you see a lot more gain reduction. And before we go into the actual chorus, I added a high pass filter. So this is the effect chain of of all the leads combined. I didn't use these 2, by the way. So it's some reverb. It's really dry. Then the sidechain compression. Then a low pass filter and a high pass filter, and then some gains. I think I could have combined these, but oh well. Let me see. And what I also did for the build, I used a kick, and I used a high pass filter on it with a resonance frequency. I move it up. So it's just a basic kick from the chorus. Only I use a filter on it in the first part, so I can use it for the build to support my snare. Whoops. Okay, and so the final part of this tutorial would be the actual chorus. Let me see. What didn't I explain yet? Okay, yeah. So before we go into the chorus, I took like the first step of the chorus, and I put all the sounds to one channel. I recorded this with some reverb on it, and then I reversed this again. So this I call the chorus preverb, and this sounds like this. To get that nice opening. And then we have a sweep over here. It's sidechained, and I cut off the low. I try to cut off the low end of sounds which don't have a real important low end. So I have more space for my bass and my kick. So you know, with a synthesizer, you might not want to do this because it could give a warm sound to your track, the low ends. But if you have like a hi-hat or something which is recorded in a way that it also contains some very low frequencies, yeah, you don't want them for your hi-hat. You can cut them off. They will only make your low end very muddy, to say. So yeah, you can cut it off. And also with sweeps, yeah, you don't really need like the boo sound in your sweep, you know, you need the higher sound. So that's why you cut it off. Okay, then the actual lead. So I already showed the FX chain. I can let you hear the individual layers of the lead. Let me expand these. Oh yeah, and what I did to make it sound really wide, I really panned all the layers, so left, right, and then try to make the final balance centered. So you don't have your main lead panned to the left mostly, because that would be rubbish. Okay, so... So I think I only used stock presets and just added the macro controls a little bit. So this is a love lead. Oh, you can't see it, of course, because it's in the other screen. This is a love lead I used. I call this one Vicetone because it's really the core of the sound. It's the vintage lead number 2. Then the saw. It's just a simple saw from Nexus, and it is just a saw, so you could make this with any synthesizer. And to get a little punch and filling, I use some white noise with the same side chaining and the same notes that are hit as the other ones. And then some another silent. It's also a stock preset from the factory bank. And what I did with every one of these layers, I made sure they're all what's the word for this? They're all like gliding. So none of them is very just hitting the note straight away. It's always just jumping around. See, you can hear it very clearly. And that makes it a little bit dancey, you know. So combined, it's... I think we got it all. Oh, okay, a sweep. This is just a custom-made sweep. It's not... It's just a lot of noise. And then it's filtered with the resonance frequency. And I made it a little bit wider with a simple delay, so the left side is delayed with another time than the right side. So you have a little bit wideness to your sound, and of course it's sidechain compressed. The bass, don't think any magic is happening here. No, it's just bass. Oh, and I used really electro bass. And again, it's just sidechained, sidechain compressed, but it sounds really cool. So I guess this is it. So combined, the chorus sounds like. Okay, and you might wonder what's on your master chain. Do you have some kind of secret? Well, I once got the opportunity to ask Nicky Romero, like, hey, what's on your master bus? Because he's one of my my inspirations, Nicky Romero, and he told me no. Yeah, on which one of my masters. And I said like, yeah, for every song. And he says, well, I try to make it sound like the shit before it hits the master bus, and then I can make it louder, but I don't want to change the sound. So that's what my goal is as well in my tracks. So I use a glue compression. Well, I can let you hear the difference. This multiband compression, I'm not really good at multiband compressions yet, so I cheated a little bit. I just used a preset, so multiband dynamics and then multiband compression. It leaves room for improvement, let's call it that. So without any compression, then the glue to get it a little bit together. And I try to have it always compressing, because if you have a piece where it's not compressing, then it will sound weird. So you should always have a little bit gain reduction if you use this one. Then the multiband compression also pulls it a little bit together, and then to get it loud and fat, a limiter, and we don't want more gain reduction than 6 dB here. So that is it. This was the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments or I don't know, crazy requests or anything, just send me a personal message or put a comment beneath the video. I will always read them and reply to you. And thanks a lot for watching this video. I'll hope to see you again.